bass family, and welcome to Everything Bass. So we're moving on with Slap Groove 25, and this came from a direct request from one of my bass family members, one of your family members, a gentleman I knew back when I was in Los Angeles, and such a cool dude. And he asked me if I would ever show as a slap groove the bass line to a song I wrote in the early 90s called Jungle Cat. Which is funny, it was called Jungle Cat because I had just adopted a black American short-haired cat who just thought he was a Black Panther and would take on anything in the world, and his name was Jose, and he was an awesome cat. So I wrote this because I just thinking how he just would tear through the house, and he just was such a joy to me. So I created the song. Now, I had never written it out. So I guess about 5 days ago, had a great Facebook interaction through Facebook messaging, and was asked, hey, would you ever show this? It was a bass line that he enjoyed. And so I started writing it out, and man, I gotta tell you guys, I don't know if you can sympathize with this, but or empathize with it, but it's tricky sometimes writing out your own stuff. You've played it for decades and decades, and then you have to figure out, okay, what is this? What is this rhythm and stuff? But I did it, and it's cool. I'm anxious to show it to you. So I was demonstrating it on the intro there, and we're going to tear it apart. It's got lots of moving parts. I have some notes to make sure that I accurately tell you what's going on. So let's get into this. Now, this would have a little higher degree of difficulty, so don't be frustrated. If you find this particular one tough and you haven't gone through the earlier ones, go back to Slap Groove 1. I tried to incrementally get difficult, but this is quite a big jump. It was an instrumental song I wrote when I was doing clinics for Warwick at the time, and I wanted to always have things I could play. I had programmed some drum parts, and it could just be a bass and drum thing that I do, and hopefully kind of jazz up the audience, get them interested in that I was doing a clinic in the first place. So we're going to start with a familiar intro to this. I've used it in some other slap bass lines, but it's simply an open E, then that left hand clap, and you just really let your fingers hit the strings, not hard enough that you get a note. Don't do that. Just let it clunk, clunk. So it's wrist mute and then pop. And the pop, I'm using the G here. I wanted to set up a minor third as soon as possible in the bass line because of the chord is an E minor chord. So instead of doing like an octave pop there, I wanted to get that G in there. So I moved the G up here, and so I can get that kind of that tonality right away. Right after that, there's a ricochet, which is a muted thumb, muted pop, and then a thumb clap again. So slowly, thumb, clap, wrist mute, pop, ricochet, thumb, clap. A little faster. Then I do an interesting technique I found interesting. And by the way, I didn't set out, I just started kind of stream of conscious one day watching my cat rip through the house. And I started playing this line. I didn't realize this technique. And it was the first time I was aware of using it. But if you go to beat 3 of measure 1, it starts with a muted thumb. I pop that same G, but then I come down and thumb it. Same note. So it's, and then I just walk down to E, and then low E. So slowly measure 1. Okay. I kind of dig it. Kind of dig it slow. I've always played it fast, but that's kind of. Now, the next measure, measure 2, starts with some strums that I blatantly am inspired by Stanley Clarke. I love how he strums on it. And so I wanted to do kind of a big, like in the drum programming, I had crash, 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 kind of a big statement there. And it's quite honestly simple enough. It's a power chord. Just I'm doing G with a perfect fifth above it, the D, twice. Then I move up a whole step, so it's A and E. Okay, so. Now, right where my hand ends up there with the A and the E, I do some tapping, just to throw a little tapping in. And I just tap the A, tap the E, go up to, what? I'm so bad at counting frets, guys, I'm embarrassed. It's 21 fret, 21st fret on both the D string and the G string. So I'm playing a B and an E. 7, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 21, 21. Hopefully your bass has 21 frets. It's just kind of a real quick triplet with the last note. So let me try to play just that. I kind of like that. I always just kind of liked putting those little taps in there. So first two measures. Now, good news, measure 2 is pretty much the same as measure 1. So once you learn measure 1, you got half of it down. So it goes back to. Now, the last measure, I start with that same G power chord twice, but then I keep my pinky on the D, I move this down to an F sharp. So I'm actually making it a D major chord. So it's G, G, D major. And then I go up to the 12th fret, I thumb it and slide down, like that. Let me try just that last measure. So let me put it all together slowly. That's Jungle Cat. That's the verse to Jungle Cat. It's a fun song, man. At one point, I don't know why, but I go to kind of a riff on Peter and the Wolf, the old classical piece. But it's a lot of fun to play live, and people seem to get off on it. It was a lot of fun to create. So I thank you, Bud, for asking me to teach it. I hope it's, you guys can get under your fingers. The stuff I create is all for you guys, man. So take this, see what you think about it. Let me know if I can describe a section better to you. What's kind of interesting about this piece is it does put a lot of techniques we've talked about previously, the left hand claps, the ricochet lick, strumming, and then now the new element is a little tapping into your slap line, which I think just adds a nice variety and puts a lot of energy into the tune. So that is Slap Groove 25, my original song called Jungle Cat, the verse to it. What'd you think? How are these going? Is there any slap technique I'm not talking about? Anything I haven't helped you guys with? I'd love to, answer whatever need you guys have. If it's something I can teach, I'll teach, and if it's something I can't teach, I'll try to find someone to teach it. So I would love to hear from you. I thank for all you've done. The channel's growing beyond my wildest dreams. We're nearing 1,000 subscribers. That's just awesome. The interactions on Facebook, like this whole thing came because of a Facebook message. You're welcome to message me. I do work a day job. So please don't think I'm being rude if I don't respond. I don't like to do any of this work on my day job time. I'll wait till after hours, but I will get back to you, I promise. And of course, you can always email me directly at dtitus@daletitus.com. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I'll see you at the next video.